Yeah, so I'm Jon GAGNON. I'm the founder and CEO of Real Big. We're a fairly new company, and we are 100% focused on real money gambling. So for the people who I don't know yet, I've been in the game industry about 12 years, originally at Microsoft on the original Xbox. By trade, I'm a 3D artist animator, but I've done a ton of different things and learned a lot along the way. A couple of years ago, I became very fond of Startup Weekend and just startups in general. And along the way, yeah, I've just learned everything that you need to know to put together a company. So by necessity, really. So when I started Real Big, there was like people often wonder like why did you choose exactly what you've chosen? Why did you decide to go real money first and not free to play, social casino, that sort of thing? For me, the light bulb moment was some friends of mine who founded a social casino company a couple of years back, and I watched them grow that. Kind of got the story from the inside over several years. When they exited, I thought this is a great business. There's no doubt. But what is the future of this business? It's not to just duplicate what they did. So when I kind of researched the real money market, as you may know, like it's a pretty impressive market, I thought this is definitely the future. So that was kind of my moment when I made a decision to found Real Big about 17 months ago. So we are a purpose-built startup that's making real money games for mobile in the UK. Let's see. So the other interesting thing about Real Big is that we are not making what I call casino reflections. We are working on alternative game types. It's been referred to during the show as I've heard it called casual casino. It's the intersection of more casual gameplay and real money functionality. So we're looking for the hit game of that intersection. We want to build the Candy Crush or the Angry Birds of real money gambling. So this talks all about how do you enter this space. I have firsthand experience on it, so I'm going to be very practical with the talk and let you know the decisions I made to get my company into the space and kind of the results of that. So you have some decisions up front that you need to make to get into the space, but I can tell you now from having gone through that, you should take a moment and really think about the problems in the space first before you make decisions. These are the three main ones. You may recognize them from the free-to-play world, but one's kind of missing here, monetization. Monetization is not a problem in real money. 100% of our players spend. The game was designed that way. So, but the critical piece is probably acquisition there. You want to be able to control your acquisition, and therefore you also want to be able to iterate on engagement and retention. So when I founded Real Big, this was the first chart that I saw right here that kind of like laid out the options. Here's the ways of getting into real money. So I just want to go through them hit by hit, one by one, real quick. People might already be familiar, but we'll just refresh everybody. So the IP license route is more for an established company. We were a brand new company that didn't have existing IP. And this arrangement is basically you can lend your IP to another entity that will slap it onto some commodity games. It's not a very exciting opportunity from our point of view. We just didn't see any opportunity there. The affiliate marketing plan is another one that's, I guess, become more interesting now that our game is launched. But it wasn't an option right out of the box. So, but this would basically be you'd be driving traffic to other games and getting a very, very hefty cost per engagement type ad unit out of it. The other kind of approach that we didn't really feel was anywhere near what we could do was to take white label games and put them on an existing site that you could drive traffic to. And I put Greektown up there as an example of like, this is a casino in Detroit that has no games on their .com landing page, but they have a ton of traffic on the land-based side. So that's something that maybe they would want to pursue, but there wasn't really an opportunity for us. All this stuff just didn't sound like anything that we wanted to do, and I was just like, we want to make the Candy Crush of real money. We don't want to be driving traffic to someone else's product or losing out on revenue in our company. We want to be the operator. We want to go get a license. So we investigated that briefly. As a lot of people have referred to during the conference, getting an actual license is very hard, expensive, time-consuming. You need a lot of resources. But, of course, it would allow you to keep 100% of net revenue, which is, the best-case scenario. Oops. I did not want to do that. All right. So, we just did not want, we wanted to get into market very quickly. $2 million in 18 months to get a license just, of course, is not going to happen for us. So, the other reason too is that, like I said, we want to be testing the product in the market as soon as possible. That's how you have success as a startup. If you can't get to market quickly, you'll never know if you actually have product market fit. So the option that we actually ended up settling on was partnering with a gambling as a service platform that has a license. This is actually this is perfect. This is a gaming focused, casual gaming focused conference. So people should be thinking about getting into this space now. The stuff we've been doing has been possible for a couple of years, and it's thanks to platforms like the one we chose. So today's options for these platforms: Bettable, CashBet, Gamblet. There's maybe a few more coming into the picture. When we were founded about 17 months ago, Bettable was the only game in town, and they still seem to be ahead of everyone. That made our decision for us, but getting to work with them closely, we really like working with them. They've been great. They're a great partner, so we've been happy with that decision. So if you're thinking about getting into the real money space, allow me to just chart 3 major decision points that you're going to end up with. I'll give you examples of what we did at those points and why I feel that we're so critical. So at the founding stage of the company, first quarter of 2013, we basically in January created the company, February hired the team and got the office, and by March we were partnered with Bettable. The next phase of the company was all about exploring what did we actually want to build with this technology and this opportunity. I saw kind of a red ocean of slot games. I didn't feel like we could necessarily compete on that with companies that have multi-million-dollar ad budgets, can outspend us. It doesn't really matter if we have a better product if it's competing in that same space. So we took an opportunity at the Bettable hackathon to explore alternative game types, and we continued to think about and kind of prototype and iterate on alternative game types. And I made my second critical decision in June when I met with the CEO of Bettable, and he kind of convinced me that alternative game types were a blue ocean opportunity that we could own, and it just seemed like the most exciting thing to me. So the next phase of the company was a very intense winter in Detroit with lots of snow on the ground and nowhere for us developers to go, so we just locked ourselves in the office. And 7 months later, we came out with Pay Dirt, March 27th, in the UK only for iOS. So Pay Dirt is our alternative game type. It's our original gambling concept. The game is very simple. You have a little character, and he has a drill. And the drill can be really narrow if it's a small wager, or a big, large drill if it's a large wager. You'll drill down into the earth looking for gems, and you hit a rock, and it'll explode open, and there might be gems inside, and the gems are worth real money. It's just that simple. We've been able to create some really innovative mechanics, though, thanks to the Bettable platform. This game actually increases the RTP the longer you play it. It's very interesting. I don't know if anyone else is doing that. So the development was a great experience, and the game, like I said, has been out for a while. Everyone, I'm sure, wants to know how it's doing, so I'm here to share some great numbers with you guys. If there's anyone in here thinking, oh, I might want to do real money or I might want to do alternative game types, here is some results here about why we're so excited about the space and why we feel we made the right decisions along the way to get here. So we've improved. The thing I think is most compelling about this is we've improved our cost per better. So this is someone that deposits money and gambles. That is now down around $17. That's incredibly low for this space. The other thing nice thing that we can report is that we are ROI positive with our ad spend. Usually backing out the same day, if not 1 to 3 days. The panel earlier with the larger guys in the space like Big Fish kind of glossed over, like they mentioned ROI positive channels, but they glossed over the fact that they're looking at 90-day payback. Some of the real money players in the space are actually doing like 12-month payback on their ad spend. We're seeing usually same day. We put in $1 and $1.10 comes back to us. So to kind of recap, the biggest risk we took, of course, was this. Like we decided we were doing real money as the laser focus of the company. We weren't going to try to, split our resources or split our focus into creating free to play and adding RMG. We wanted to have a laser focus, and we also doubled the risk by creating an all-new game that we did not know if people would play. The day we launched it, we did not know if anyone was going to play this game. Luckily, it turns out they will play this game. Pay Dirt has no problem acquiring players that spend. The other thing that I want to share with you guys I thought is critical, like I mentioned, we weren't going to split our focus into free-to-play and real money. The game, when it launched, was a brick wall. You had to deposit money or you couldn't do anything in the game. And that actually led to some really great conversion numbers, as you saw earlier. It's been as high as 24% from install to betting. I've mentioned a few things about user acquisition. Like the most important thing we've learned post-launch is that you have to really know what you're doing with user acquisition. We've learned a ton. And a lot of the ways that you can enter the space, you give up control of doing UA. You don't want that. This is a very, very, very fast-moving piece of the business, and you don't want to give anyone else a reason to block you from improving your user acquisition. So the other thing I can kind of nicely report, we are seeing much lower CPIs than people who are. I think Nick from 12 Gigs was up here saying it's as much as $15 or $16 per install in the slots category for social casino. We're seeing much lower CPIs. We're seeing CPIs that you'd see from just a casual game. That's been a huge advantage for us. And also in that panel, the idea of like the hype around the lifetime value of a real money player turns out is true. They're extremely valuable. We've seen it firsthand. The game, like I said, has only been out a little over 90 days, but projecting out, we're seeing multi-$1,000 lifetime value easily achievable. So let's bring it back in. If you're thinking about the real money space, you should be thinking about it. We're so happy with the decisions we made. Number one, that we decided to make it a focus. Number two, we picked a good partner, and we've been very happy with that partnership. The technology's been great. It's enabled us to do a lot. And then, third, lastly, just bring your innovation to the gaming space. The innovation envelope in the gambling industry has been like this narrow for 100 years. Everyone's just iterating on these same little things. We're doing so much amazing creative stuff in mobile and social and console games. If you're an experienced developer, you need to bring all this to gambling. It's new. It's new to gambling. It's stuff that we know works from mobile. bring it into gambling and try it out. Do something new. There's success to be had with that. So we couldn't be more happy, and we think there's a beautiful future for real money and alternative game types. That's it. So I will take questions if there are any questions.
Any questions? I think they're clapping because of your ARPDAO. Is any of this, it's only mobile, there's no desktop?
We do not have a desktop version as of yet. We could easily create one. We made the game with Unity.
And does Bettable offer desktop?
I can't really tell you right now.
Anybody know? They do.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to think about that with all the money you're making. So how many users do you have so we can figure out how much you're doing?
Yeah, wouldn't you like to know? We can't quite tell you. It's a little too early to say exactly how many. There is plenty of scale in the UK market, though. We're confident we can capture quite a bit of it.
So if people out there aren't familiar with how Bettable works, and can you explain how it works in terms of marketing and the relationship?
Sure, yeah. You're basically given the keys to the castle. You can create anything you want with their technology. That's why we're able to just invent a game. They handle all the know your customer side stuff, all the stuff that you don't want to do to get into this space. They handle it with just perfection. It's easy. You don't have to think about fraud, chargebacks, hacking risk, identity verification, location verification. They handle all that. They handle support for players.
What's the rev share?
I'm not allowed to quite comment on that right now. I mean, you can go talk to them, but that's.
Is it higher than Facebook?
I can't zero in quite that much, but
is it 50%?
all I can say, I can't.
It's 50%.
I'm not allowed to say, but I will say this: now that there's other people in the space, I think it's getting a little bit more competitive, and I think it's worth your time to investigate getting in because things have changed. That's all I can really say. So, but yeah, and if you want to take a look at the game is only in the UK App Store, which makes it hard for people to play. But if you see me walking around, I have it on my phone in a version that works, so I'm happy to show it to you.
What's your biggest user? Like, what's the biggest spend on the user? What's the biggest whale?
Okay, I can throw that out there, I guess. We had a guy come in and play for 6 straight hours, and he spent about $1,100 US.
Very good.
So.
And are you able to be in touch with the user to do player? We were just talking about player management before. Are you able to do that?
Embarrassingly, no. My team is only 4 people besides myself. We need to do that. I've talked with people and the learnings from stuff like Zynga Poker. I've heard that Mark Pincus would call up a whale on the phone and talk to him just to find out if he liked the game. We need to be doing that. I would love to call that guy. Unfortunately, we just don't have it set up yet. But.
So last question. So how do you grow if like right now you're just on Bettable? I mean, how do you scale up beyond that?
The opportunity
just on Bettable and just in the UK.
Right. Yeah, that's a great question. So when I created Real Big, I didn't think about the opportunity within the next 18 months is just the UK and that's it. We're trying to build this company for the long term. We want to see a maybe 5 to 7 year window where geo expansion occurs, possible legalization in the U.S. market occurs. That's the real big opportunity for Real Big. But we still can make money in the UK. It's very obvious. The UK is a great market. We can make money today in that market, so we're happy with that and confident about that, and also looking, like I said, toward the future and geo expansion. So.
Okay. Now we have questions. Okay.
Hey, can you explain why you chose Bettable as opposed to other partners in that space?
Right. Yeah, it was pretty simple. I mean, back in January 2013, they were the only. They were live. They were live and working. Also, the friends that I knew in the industry who had worked with them had a lot of great things to say. That made it easier for me. That to know that they had a good experience already, and then got to meet everyone at Bettable. They're all really cool people. They're people you want to work with for sure. So made it a lot easier.
So it sounds like you're sort of trapped in England at the moment. If you could explain, is that because the platform is? I mean, obviously there are legal issues country to country. Which other countries are opening up? Germany, France. Do you have any freedom in Europe?
There's a lot of talk about geo expansion. The nice thing about having a license as a service, a gambling as a service partner, is that they're pursuing this 24 hours a day. They're trying to expand everywhere in the world for us. Once it happens, we can be first to market in those countries. Western Europe is option, Scandinavian countries, South America is apparently a weird gray market situation. We don't think too heavily about it right now. We've been thinking about New Jersey, stuff like that. We know there will be opportunity, no doubt about it. We just don't know when or where specifically, but we know it's coming. If I didn't feel like that was the case, I wouldn't have founded this company to begin with. So,
is your relationship with Bettable, is that exclusive? Or could you sign with the other? Could you put your game with the other guys as well?
I mean, I could do some crazy entity wrangling and probably do it, but I'd have to really, think about that.
He's thinking about it.
If would I really even want to do that? I don't know.
And so Cashbet and the other guys, are they also just in the UK?
As far as I know, I don't know. Like Gambler is not launched yet. Cashbet has been launched. I'm not completely sure. Yes, Cashbet is launched.
Oh, there it is.
So,
what's your rev share? What's Bettable's? No one wants to give numbers out. It's always
I gave
amazing.
you guys some real good numbers.
Okay.
I thought.
Oh no,
So,
he really did. So that was great.
I encourage everyone to come to this conference every year and share some great news. I'm a little bit too much retread of like topics from years ago.
One last question. So
Sure.
To market your game, you're putting your game out in the UK, which is a really established market and it's a crowded market for real money game. How do you stand out?
Sure.
How do you do user acquisition in that marketplace?
Right. So the first 90 days, the only channel we used was Facebook mobile ads. Huge shout out to Facebook. That platform rocks. We're able to outbid everyone with the type of value that our customers bring. We're just simply outbidding people, and it's profitable. So the question is standing out. Yeah, I mean, if you can outbid people, you get the clicks, you get the installs, you get the customers. We're just now about to start testing out additional channels. There's a new RTB technology from a company, Tap Heaven, we're interested in. We're gonna continue to expand the channels that we can acquire users from. So,
Any other questions? Okay. Very revealing. Thank you, Jon.
all right, thank you so much, everybody.